5 quick ways to check if your spouse is a gaslighter. Tonight I want to talk to you about a quiet kind of pain, one that doesn't slam doors or shatter plates, but slowly dissolves your certainty about what's real. Gaslighting is psychological manipulation that makes you doubt your memory, your feelings, even your sanity. In marriage, it rarely arrives with a label, it arrives as a pattern, small denials, gentle dismissals, 1,000 tiny tilts of the story until you no longer trust your own eyes. If you're wondering, how do I know if my spouse is gaslighting me? Remember this. One hard conversation does not equal gaslighting. An occasional defensive comment does not equal gaslighting. We're talking about repeated patterns that move you away from your inner compass. With that in mind, here are 5 quick ways to check, simple spotlights you can shine on daily life to see what's really there. First, do they regularly deny things you remember clearly? Pay attention to the rhythm. You recall a promise, you said you'd be home by 8, and they respond, "I never said that," even though you remember the text, the time, the tone. Gaslighting loves to erase ink and rewrite it in pencil. A healthy response to a memory difference sounds like, "I don't remember it that way. But let's check," and then you both look at the calendar or the message. A gaslighting pattern resists any common reference point and insists your memory is the problem. A quick test. When you calmly offer a neutral proof, here's the message. Do they join you in reality or pivot to your character? Wow. You're keeping receipts now? A small, practical step. Start keeping a private log of simple facts, dates, times, what was said, so you have an anchor when the waves rise. Second, do they routinely tell you that you're too sensitive or too suspicious whenever you have a feeling? Gaslighting often disguises itself as calm reason, and it often uses your temperament against you. You say, "I felt hurt when you dismissed me in front of your friends," and they chuckle. You're overreacting again. Feelings are not verdicts, but they are valid signals. In healthy marriages, partners may disagree about events, but they don't deny each other's emotional reality. A quick test. Can you name your feeling without being graded for it? Try this sentence stem in the next conversation. "I'm not asking you to agree with my interpretation. I'm asking you to acknowledge my feeling." Notice whether you get curiosity or a critique of your sensitivity. Third, do they flip the script and make you the problem whenever you confront a hard topic? You bring up an issue, say, inappropriate texting, and somehow you're on trial for being controlling, distant, or impossible to please. The theme is reversal. The original concern vanishes, replaced by a case against you. Healthy conflict cares about the original thread. "Let's stay with what you raised." Or, "We can discuss my frustrations too. But first I want to hear you." A quick test. When you say, "I'd like to finish this one topic before we start another," do they allow that or accuse you of being rigid? Try using a gentle boundary, 1 page at a time. "I promise we'll turn to your page next." Fourth, do you find yourself apologizing constantly just to end the argument, even when you're not actually wrong? This one creeps in silently. You begin to apologize for your tone, your timing, your breathing. Apologies are beautiful repair tools when they're sincere and specific. They become red flags when they're extracted as tribute from the person being hurt. A quick test. Keep track for 2 weeks. How many apologies are about your alleged character flaws versus clear mistakes? In healthy relationships, both partners apologize and both receive. If you're the only one offering olive branches, you're carrying the whole tree. Practice a different repair. "I'm willing to pause. I'm not willing to take the blame for something I didn't do. Let's reset in 15 minutes and come back to the actual issue." Fifth, are you losing trust in yourself over time? This is the outcome gaslighting aims at. You begin to second-guess simple choices, what to wear, what to say, what you remember from last summer. You start editing your personality to avoid conflict, laughing less, shrinking more, seeking permission to exist. Healthy love enlarges you. Gaslighting makes you smaller. A quick test. Ask yourself, if I could speak freely without being shamed or mocked, what would I say? If the list is long and you're scared to say any of it, pay attention. Try a reality anchoring habit. Text yourself a truth once a day, something small and indisputable. He was late and didn't tell me. Or, I felt lonely at dinner. Truth, spoken gently to yourself, is the antidote to confusion. Now, before you slap a label on your partner, remember, anyone can be defensive on a hard day. Gaslighting is about repetition, resistance to evidence, and the consistent belittling of your inner world. What helps right now? Start with clarity. Keep a simple timeline. Use a one topic at a time rule. Practice the broken record of your boundary. I'm willing to talk. Not to be mocked. Repeated calmly. Invite a neutral check. Let's look at the text and watch the reaction. And if you feel unsafe, emotionally or physically, your safety comes first. The point is not to win arguments. The point is to reclaim reality. And then decide, from solid ground, what love requires next. Part 2. A Real Marriage on the Brink, Camille and Théo of Lyon. France. Picture a Sunday in Lyon. The table is beautifully set. The Beaujolais is breathing. And Camille, an anesthesiologist who can hold steady in a crisis, finds herself bracing at the gentlest comments from her mother-in-law. Your schedule must be so chaotic, poor Théo. You look tired again. Are you forgetting to take care of your husband? The words float like feathers, but they land like stones. After each meal, on the quiet walk home, Camille tries to tell Théo that she feels belittled. He smiles the soft smile that first drew her in. Ma Mère was joking. You always think people are against you. You're too intense. Her feeling is filed under too much and locked away. Over months, the pattern hardens. When she asks for help with groceries after a night shift, he says, if you planned better, you wouldn't be overwhelmed. When she shares a joy about a complicated case going well, he comments, don't bring the hospital home, while later posting an elaborate behind-the-scenes reel of his photo shoot because his work deserves a spotlight. Nothing explosive, just tiny edits of her reality until she starts editing herself. She laughs more softly at gatherings. She eats earlier so she won't be seen taking second helpings. She deletes messages before asking him a question, to avoid the eye roll that says her concerns are clutter. Then one evening, while Théo is in the shower, a notification lights up his phone. The preview shows a heart emoji from a colleague, Claire, attached to a teasing line about his golden hour magic. Camille feels a drop in her stomach, the kind she recognizes from emergency rooms when the heartbeat falters. She does not snoop, she waits. When he emerges, wrapped in a towel, she says, I'm nervous about a message I saw. Can we talk about your relationship with Claire? His head lifts, a shadow across his face. Then the smile returns. Only you would make something out of nothing. You're paranoid. This is what makes us miserable, your suspicion. The next hour becomes a maze. Every path she takes to describe her discomfort turns into a courtroom where she is the defendant. I can't be myself if you police my phone. You push me away with your distrust. When she cries, quiet tears that say she is still human after 12 hours in the OR, he says. See? Too sensitive. By the end, Camille is apologizing for her timing, for her tone, for her tears. A few days later, her friend Anaïs, who happens to be a psychologist, meets her for coffee near Place Bellecour. They talk about small things. Then Anaïs asks the question that opens the window, when you bring a feeling to Théo, does he get curious or does he correct you? Camille describes the denials, the jokes that sting, the script flips, the way her spine bends into apology after apology. Anaïs doesn't diagnose Théo. She names the pattern. Gaslighting is when your inner map is treated like fiction. It's not about who's charming, It's about whose reality gets to exist. You're not crazy. You're not too much. You're in a fog. The word fog is a relief and a grief. Camille goes home with a simple plan. She will ask for couples therapy. If he refuses, she will take space to breathe. That night, she doesn't rehearse a perfect speech. She simply reads what she wrote in her notes app. I need our marriage to be a place where my feelings are real. I feel erased when my memories and emotions are dismissed. I want us to go to therapy, EFT or Gottman-based, within the next month. If you won't, I will choose a brief separation because I cannot live like this. There is silence. Teo, who is more comfortable with light than heat, looks unsettled. He says, therapy is for couples on the edge of divorce. She holds steady. We are on the edge. He agrees. The first session is rocky. Teo sits with arms crossed, telling the therapist he is being blamed for everything. Camille trembles, not from fear of him, but from fear of losing herself again in a room designed for clarity. The therapist asks them both to slow down. Here we honor three realities. She says, Camille's experience, Teo's experience, and the shared facts. They practice a simple sequence. Name the event. Name the feeling. Name the need. At your mother's lunch, when she joked about me neglecting you, I felt shamed and alone. I need you to have my back in the moment, even a gentle, Mom. We'll keep that between us would help. Teo tries to defend, but she didn't mean. The therapist holds up a hand. Curiosity before correction. He tries again. I see how that would sting. I can speak up next time. The second session addresses Claire. The therapist invites specifics, not labels. Were there flirtations? Boundaries? Transparency? Teo admits that he enjoyed the attention because he felt admired for his art. He acknowledges that the texts crossed a line, even if nothing physical happened. He agrees to a clear boundary plan. No private late-night messaging with colleagues. No deleting threads. Phone passcodes shared voluntarily, not as surveillance but as a symbol of nothing to hide. If he ever feels boxed in, he will articulate the need for space rather than look for reflection elsewhere. They also craft a mother-in-law boundary script. They practice out loud. Maman. We love you, and we won't discuss Camille's job or our household roles at family meals anymore. If it comes up, we'll change the subject or leave early. The first time they use it, Teo's mother is startled, then offended. He holds the line gently. Camille watches, not triumphant, just grateful to be protected. In parallel, they adopt two tools. One is the one-topic rule. When a hard subject emerges, they set a 15-minute timer and stick to that subject. If a new grievance surfaces, they capture it in a shared note called parking lot for later. The second is a reality check ritual. When memories differ, they look for a neutral anchor, the text thread, the calendar, without shame. If evidence is inconclusive, they agree to treat both memories with respect rather than awarding a trophy of truth to one person. Progress is not linear. Teo slips. At a gallery opening, he tells a story that subtly mocks Camille's long hours at the hospital. In the car, she says, "That felt like a joke at my expense." He starts, then stops himself. Curiosity before correction. He whispers, and asks, "How did it land?" She tells him. He apologizes, not for her sensitivity, but for his choice. The next day he calls the friend who heard the joke and owns it. "I threw my wife under the bus last night. It won't happen again." That night, Camille sleeps a little deeper. She also changes. Gaslighting trained her to minimize her voice. Healing asks her to use it with steady warmth. She practices kind firmness. "I love you. That comment didn't work for me. Let's redo it." She takes an evening each week for herself, yoga with a friend. A quiet drive along the Saône, unapologetic nourishment so she doesn't arrive to every conversation dehydrated. Weeks become months. The fog lifts slowly. They laugh again. Not because everything is perfect, but because the room now has oxygen. The texting with Claire stays professional, the family meals are less barbed, and when they slip, they repair. The great change is not that they never disagree. It is that reality has 2 chairs at the table again, hers and his, and a third chair for the facts. And inside that simple dignity, trust can grow roots. Part 3. What this means for the rest of us. And how to close the loop with hope. Gaslighting isn't always loud. Sometimes it arrives with a soft voice and impeccable logic. It can sound like, "You're too sensitive," when you're simply human, or, "That never happened," when the evidence is inconvenient, or, "This is your fault," when accountability would be costly. The cure isn't counter-manipulation. The cure is truth with kindness, boundaries with steadiness, and help when you need it. Every person in a marriage has the right to be heard, to trust their feelings as signals, and to be treated with respect. If you're listening from Manchester or Madrid or Minneapolis and you notice you apologize to stop fights, you doubt yourself more than you used to, or you're shrinking to fit, pause and ask, is my inner world safe in this relationship? If the answer is no, do 3 things. First, anchor your reality. Keep a simple log of dates, statements, and feelings, no judgments, just facts. Second, name your boundary with kindness. I'm available for hard conversations. I'm not available for mockery or denial of my feelings. Repeat it calmly like a chorus. Third, bring in help sooner than you think, couples therapy if both are willing, individual support if not. Therapists trained in EFT or the Gottman method are used across the US and Europe and can coach you in repair attempts, conflict de-escalation, and rebuilding trust. If there's emotional or physical danger, safety planning comes first. Confide in a trusted friend or hotline and create an exit plan for heated moments. And if you're the partner hearing this and recognizing yourself in the mirror, take heart. Gaslighting doesn't make you a monster, refusing to face it does. Try curiosity before correction. When your spouse names a feeling, don't grade it, ask about it. When facts are offered, join them. When you're tempted to escape into secret admiration elsewhere, name the ache, I need to feel respected, and work on that need at home rather than outsourcing honesty. The goal isn't to lose, the goal is to love. Love that enlarges, not erases. We close here, recognizing the pattern is the beginning of healing. The moment you choose reality over performance, something sacred returns, you. Intact, eyes clear, heart steady. Ask for help if you need it. Choose the conversation that protects the truth inside you. Happiness in marriage doesn't start with pretending everything is fine. It starts when both partners decide, let's make our home a place where the facts are safe and feelings are welcome. When truth can breathe, love can grow. And where love grows, marriages, like Camille and Teo's, can become not perfect, but honest, sturdy, and deeply alive. If you found this video meaningful, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. If you're facing unresolved challenges in your own marriage, we invite you to share your story in the comments below. We read every message, and we hope our words of encouragement will give you the strength to keep going. Even on the hardest days, we're here with you, and we look forward to seeing you again in the next episode.